Hello everyone. Let's wait 2-3 minutes so other people can join.
व्हाइटिश कलर चाहिए था नहीं यही पकड़े है
Yes, team, we can start it now. Please share your screen. Who is going to present demo? Group 1.
Good evening, Mr. Pravin, sir. We're supposed to have our team leader introduce us. So please, Oladayo, are you here? Okay, this is week 2 assignment, assignments 1 and 2 presented by Group-1. And I am Cynthia Ogochukwu. I'll be presenting with Santosh Kumagiri. And along the line, we'll wait for our team lead to come in. So today we are going to be looking at AWS free tier and deploying a React app using Nginx. So first, what is an AWS account and why do we need it? As DevOps engineers, we're going to be working on cloud infrastructures. So we need access to the cloud. So an AWS account is just a free space or a rented space on the cloud where we could practice, break code safely without causing a problem to the bigger community or the company. So it is like a container defining our security, our billing, our resource boundaries, and we use it with zero risks for upcoming labs. Now, what is the AWS free tier and how long does it last? The free tier is a model that grants us free and limited access to the cloud services and infrastructure, such as the EC2 compute, the S3 bucket, Lambda, and some other trials. The AWS services that are included in the free tier include the EC2 compute. This gives us 750 hours per month of free service. We have the Amazon S3 storage bucket giving us 5 gig space, and then the Amazon RDS, the database. Now, creating AWS free tier account is the next thing, and it is pretty simple. So just by following these steps here, everyone can create a free account. Then we go to the second assignment. This assignment is on deploying React Art on Ubuntu using Nginx. Now we have this illustration here just to give us a mental idea of what we are doing and why we are doing that. Now, the back room here, the kitchen, we are using the DevOps restaurant as an analogy for the deployment of the React app. So within the back room, we are going to be cooking, so to say, or preparing or building our React app. Then when we are done, we're going to pass it through the window here. This is the only point where Nginx can pick up apps, pick up websites, and serve to web browsers. So this is the var/www.html. And that is the only point Nginx can communicate with the backend. So if we have built and we have not served on this window, then Nginx, which acts as a waiter in a restaurant, can't pick up what we have built. And so there won't be anything for the end user. So this is the analogy we're going to use to make everything come handy and ensure that we understand it. So for the build, we'll need node.js and node package managers. We'll need the source code also. So we're going to be working on the source code using node.js and npm to build. Now, the building is the changes we make, the editings we make on the source code, and then to produce the cake, which stands as our build artifact that we save through this var/www.html, and which Nginx can then pick and serve to the final user. All right, so to do this, the first step is to install our software and application modification. So first, because we are going to be needing Node.js and Node package managers for building, we are going to start by using the command sudo apt update. Now, sudo means super user do. It simply means run this command as an administrator so that we don't end up getting permission denied errors. So we're using the highest level of permission and authority to run this. And usually we do this for installations and the system level activities. So we tell the advanced packaging tool, APT, to update. What this command simply does is that it refreshes or updates a list of all available and latest software versions so that we don't run the risk of using outdated and vulnerable versions. So it lists for us all the available and latest software versions and their dependencies, which we are going to be using, but it does not yet install anything. Then we run the second command, which is sudo apt install -y node.js npm. Now we are using the same administrator power to ask the apt to install two packages, which are node.js and npm, and to avoid answering yes at each stage where we are asked, are we sure we want to proceed, we say -y, -y. So that -y tells this installation process to just keep going on up till the end without having to answer, are you sure, every time. Once we have installed or downloaded these two, we then verify the installation by running node-v and npm-v. Now the and is a logical and. It tells the computer that if the first, only and only if the first command is successful, then the second should be run. Once we've done this and the versions numbers have been printed, we are sure we have downloaded this two, then we can proceed to the next stage. The next stage is to get our waiter ready. Remember, we've got the equipment, so to say, or the things we need for building in the kitchen. Now it's time to get our waiter, Nginx, which will take what is built and serve to the end user. So we run sudo apt install -y nginx. So we want this command just installs nginx and skips the are you sure steps. Then we run sudo systemctl start nginx. This command then starts. It's like you hire a waiter and then you tell the waiter, start your duty. So this command tells nginx to begin working immediately. And then there is the next instruction or command, which is also very important, sudo systemctl enable nginx. Now, it is important we run these commands because sometimes servers get rebooted, computers get shut down and rebooted. If they are rebooted and we don't run this command, then the Nginx wouldn't start again. So it doesn't automatically start each time there is a rebooting. But to ensure that it starts automatically Nginx, then you need to run enable Nginx. Once you've done this, then you go over to cloning the React app repo. So we have this in GitHub. So we go there because we do not yet have our source code. We do not yet have the raw materials we're working with. We have the waiter, we have the cook, we have the kitchen equipment ready, but we need something to work on the raw materials to build our artifacts. So we use git clone, then this whole website to get down our source code. And once we've downloaded the source code from GitHub, then we can now change directory to my React app, which is exactly where the project is. Next, we navigate. Now that we've got the raw materials, we navigate to our React apps source folder because we need to make a few changes there. So we go to my React app /src, the source code, where we can edit the code, and then we edit. So here we just have to change your full name to our name, and then the date to the specific date. Once we've made this change, of course, we're using Nano or VI or VM, any of the text editors to do that. Once we are done with that, then we go ahead to build. So to build, remember at first we downloaded or installed NPM. So now it is time for NPM to do its job, which is to download all the dependencies needed to build or run our app. So we download all the libraries, all the dependencies that will be important to build this React app. Then we run the build. So we actually do the compilation of the source code into optimized files. We put every information into bits that are easy for the server to serve, and that is a very important step. Then once we've done that, remember, it's like we are done cooking in the kitchen. We have built our artifacts. Now it is time to save. But we can't just go from the kitchen to the customer on the chair. We need to place what we have built on the window so that Nginx takes it off from there and then serves to the customer. So what do? We have to, first of all, remove whatever has been by default in the folder that Nginx looks into. So Nginx always looks at var/www/html folder. And so if we leave this without editing, then when Nginx comes, it looks into this, and what it finds here is what is there by default. So to avoid this and make sure we have replaced our built artifacts into here, we need to forcefully and recursively remove everything or delete everything that is in this usual or default folder, and then replace, that is the copy, what we have built, everything inside its subfolders inside of folders. We replace everything we have built, or replace the default folder by everything we have built. So this command copies all the build artifacts, that is the finished site, into the web server's public folder. Once we have done this, there are two more steps or commands we need to run. At this point, there is no permission yet for Nginx to pick up these and save. So we need to run the sudo chown, that is change ownership. So we change ownership of course, this is the default ownership of Nginx files. So we hand over ownership of what we are transferring to Nginx so that Nginx has the permission to pick it, to work on it. And so after that, we also change the mode. So we don't want anyone to be able to delete or change data or information here. So we set the permission levels. The 7 stands for anyone with this permission, which is Nginx can, or the user can read, write, and execute. But 5 and the other 5 for group and others means that these people can read, they can access, but they cannot write. They can't modify. So once we have set these permissions, we then run this very important final block of code. Now, echo means print this. So we're going to print everything here. So all this information here, that's actually the configuration of Nginx, is going to replace the default Nginx configuration settings, which is this etc/nginx/sites and all of that. So we want to remove this default configuration because the app we are deploying is a single page app. That means that it doesn't show page 2, page 3. There's only one page. So if someone comes in to look for, say, about page or something, this app would fail. The response will be 404 error because that page can't be found. So what this instruction does, look at this part, it says try files. So save files in this order. First, when someone asks for a particular website, show it if it's available. But if it is not available, do not throw the 404 error. Rather, replace with the index.html so that when the person gets into the React app, they can then navigate to the about page from there. So once we've run this command, of course, this one throws out the excess/dev/null, throws out the excess text that would be created and otherwise be left on the screen. So we don't want a messy environment, so we remove this. So once we have done these configuration settings, replace the default configurations of Nginx with what we want it because of what we want it to produce, because of the specific app we are working with, a React app that is a single page app, we then run this important command, sudo systemctl restart Nginx. This is very important because Nginx does not pick up instructions except it is rebooted or it is terminated and restarted. So we must restart Nginx for it to be able to read those changes we have made and be able to apply it. So once we've done that, then we get our public IP EC2 install. Of course, everyone can create that already. We could use this command, call ifconfig.me, to get our IP address. And then once we check this on the website, the Nginx will save it correctly. So thank you very much. I will then hand over to Santosh, who will continue by showing us the demo. Thank you.
Yeah, Cynthia, thank you so much for the great presentation. So I would like to request Ademo, he's here. So he will speak on behalf of our group. So Ademo, please.
Okay, Santos, thank you very much. Apologies, I was a bit late. My internet, not, apologies. I was supposed to introduce my team members. Great work, Cynthia. You really did well. You did justice to it. And that's typical of us in Group-1. We are setting the grace here. We are the trailblazers. Thank you very much. So I'll introduce my team mate, my fellow team lead, Santosh. So Santosh will be taking the aspect of the practical demonstration. And you'll see that this will be in line with the commands that Cynthia has carefully explained to us. And I hope you relax, sit back and relax and enjoy our presentation. Thank you very much.
So I will be demonstrating the demo part. So hi everyone, good evening. So we will be starting with the assignment 2, sorry, week 2 assignment 2. So let me share my screen. So first of all, we will need a EC2 instance for this. So I already have created a EC2 instance. So I will like to continue with this only. If anyone has issue with creating this, you can just come and launch from here. We can launch a EC2 instance from here. We can provide a name here. After that, we can choose what flavor of Linux we want or VM we want to use. And we can create a key pair for using our EC2 instance. This is for the security purpose, and we can allow the SSL and HTTP for using our website or web server, and we can launch from here. So I already have that my EC2 instance, so I will be using that one. No. So first of all, we will connect with our EC2 to our local host. For that, we will using this command. Yeah. So as we require that key pair, so my key pair is in download directory, so I will change directly to the downloads. And from here, I will try to launch my EC2 instance. Yeah. Yeah, we will allow it. So now our EC2 instance is ready. So we will follow the Udemy steps. Yeah. So we are going to deploy a React app using Nginx, and we will be using a public IP address to access it. So for that, we have already created our EC2 instance, and we are connected to our local host, and we will be using some commands for that. So first of all, to install some software and modify the some changes, we'll be using this sudo apt update. So this basically make changes in our files which are already existing and try to replace it with the latest one. So whenever we are trying to use any new commands or latest commands or latest version, so it will allow us to use that. So we will run this commands. Okay. So now for this React app, we will be using Node.js and NPM. Basically, Node.js works as a front-end part for the React, and NPM is like adding dependencies to it. So we will be installing this also. So, and one thing I would like to add, like here we have used -y. -y means it is already giving access, like we are allowing this software and this code to install all the required dependencies and software needed for this. So by default, we are allowing it yes. So this for that only we are using -y here. So it is it will take some time.
Santosh, could you maximize your screen? Yeah, that hit bash.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Is it okay, sir?
A little more you can do. So that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so now our npm and node.js is installed. So we will check the version of that. So for that we can use -v for that. So we'll use node -v, and for npm we will use npm -v. So we can see here the version of node and npm. So next we will be doing installing Nginx. So basically Nginx serve as a software that is used for serving our website to the browser. So for that we will be using this install command and start command and enable command for Nginx. So first of all we will install Nginx. Yeah, it is installed. So now we will start it. We will enable it. Enabling in Nginx means whenever if there is a reboot or if it is getting shut down. So for next time we are trying to log in, it will be restart automatically there. So I have enabled it. So we can check the status also. So for that we have to use sudo systemctl status. So we can see that it is showing as it is active and running state. So now we will go to the repo. That website we are going to launch under React app. So for that we have a Git repo here. We will clone it. So for cloning, I'm using this link. Or another way is that we can use this download zip file and we can unzip in our local machine and we can use that scp command also. But here I'm using this HTTP command link only. After copying it, I will come here and will use git clone command. Yeah, it has been cloned now. So next we have to, yeah. So after cloning that, we have to change the directory and we have to check that what we have means cloned there. So for that, we will be using ls command, and we can see that we have that my react app here. So we will get inside it. I will use cd my react app, and next we will be uh, coming to this my react app src folder, and there we will be getting this app.js file. So in this file, we have to make changes, like we have to modify our name and date. So for this, we can use a editor. So here we will be using vi editor. So I will be getting into src folder, and if I do ls here, see I can see that app.js file here. So I have to make changes in this file only. So I will use vi. Okay. So now we are inside that app.js file, but here we can't make any changes. For that, we have to press I. So it will allow us insert mode, and now we can make changes. And here we have to use that arrow buttons. So to move somewhere, we have to use this arrow buttons. So I will be making changes in our full name. Group-1, Group-1. There will be today's date. Yeah, changes are made. Now I will save it. For that we have to use save button and colon. Then W2. W is for saving this file, and Q to exit from this. So I will press enter. So now we have made changes. So now our uh, React website is ready for to make it deploy it. So we have to add some dependencies and collect all the files in a build file. So for that we have to run this npm install and npm run build. So before that, I would like to show you that what we are getting in our response of our website. So for that, I will be using my public IP address. So this is the public IP address. I will be pasting it here. Okay, let's check here.
Use HTTP. Is I think HTTPS. You can check.
Yeah, without HTTP also it works.
No.
think
You are not unable the HTTP in the while creating the EC2 instance.
Browser.
You have to enable that first.
I think I have enabled that.
Security groups.
Browser,
Security
browser,
groups.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
browser, browser
Go
by
to security
default
group.
take the HTTPS.
Check inbound rules.
Yeah, you have to enable the allow HTTP traffic, then you will be access the website. Pratosh.
Okay, let me do this.
Hello,
So I will,
why everyone is unmuted actually?
yeah. So we will use this run build command. So it will like convert all the codes or the we have written into a build folder. So that will be used for the deployment code.
Yeah, your Nginx is working.
Yeah.
Your IP address is HTTPS. You can cross-check that.
So that npm run build command is done. So I will like to do ls to see that build folder is here not, but I can see that build is not here. But here we have to copy that our build folder to this wire file. So for that, I have to first go to the build folder. So that I will get in the main my reactor file folder. Sorry. For that I will be using. So now I will do this. So here we can see that we have this build. So we have to make changes here. For that I will go into and I will be using this for removing the previous whatever the things are there. So I will remove this and then we will copy our this uh, React app dependency. Mm, yeah, now we will change the ownership of this file. Is done. Now we will change that permission that who can make changes. Like first one, the user has all the access for this, and for second, the group and the it is like order. So for second one, they can only like read this file. They cannot make any changes there. It's done. So now we have to make these changes. Like we have to change the configuration for this Nginx. So for that we will be using this echo command, and we will be making changes with this command given here. So I will copy this one. Yes, fine. So as we have made changes here, so we need to restart our Nginx. So whatever the changes we have applied, that should be visible to us. Yes. So now we will test our IP address, that what IP address we are using. So for this we have to use this curl ipconfig.me. So this is the IP address we are using. So I will try to use this. It is working or not.
Type http:// then paste it. It will work.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So we have deployed our React app. So this was the presentation from our side. So if you have any questions, you can ask us. We will be here to answer it. Or if anyone is facing issue in this assignment, they can watch this video again, and they can first see the presentation explained by Cynthia. So they will get clarity about the theory what we are doing here.
Yes,
Yeah.
Greg, do you want to say something, Greg? Odi?
Greg, you're not audible.
Mine is not working, I think.
Yeah, my
Yeah, I
mic.
think your
I
mic.
think I want to change it. Okay,
You're audible
sorry.
now. Yes, you're audible now.
Yeah, I'm audible now. Sorry, I just good evening, everyone. Santosh, that was a lovely demo presentation you did. Also, thumbs up to Cynthia and Wazo. Your presentation was lovely as well. And I also want to thank you for the slide you dropped on the chat. Thank you very much. Now, my question basically has to do with when it comes to the build issue. From what directory are we supposed to build from? Because basically, is it supposed to be under the React app folder or under source? Because I noticed something. I think you built from source, but when you were going to go and check your build, you had to cd ... You went back to the React folder to basically say your build was there. Because basically, what I'm asking is that most times I try it first from the source. Then maybe if it doesn't work, I go back and do it there. So I want to really know where is the exact place we're actually supposed to do our build from. Do you get me?
Yeah. I'm got it.
Okay, okay. Great. Thank you. Santos, thank you very much. Let me take this one. Let me help my fellow team.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you are supposed to do the build in the source folder where you have the app.js. All right. So, and before then, you would have done the npm install, which will help you install all the dependencies, all the plugins that you need to do the cooking, the ingredients you put together, like Cynthia rightfully did the analysis. Okay. So after you have done all of that in the source folder, okay, and you do the run build, what you are doing there exactly is that you are putting it all together to come out in the language that the web server can understand it, because it's a React app. It is not the regular HTML or CSS page app. You understand? It's a React app. So you build it with the npm package, and then it comes out in the format that the web server can understand, the machine language that it can understand. Okay, so it is going to give you the build folder, which is the the build directory, which is the directory for the web server. Okay, now the source that you built, that you have your app.js in it, will just be there with your app.js. Now, the build command that you have run will make another folder, which will be outside, not inside the source folder anymore. It will just be in the same folder or directly or directory with the source directory. All right, not inside the source directory anymore. It will be outside. So that was the reason why Santosh had to go outside by one step to locate the build directory, because it can no longer be in the source directory where you have the human readable language. Now it is having a different language, which is the language of the machine, the language that the web server understands, to present it to whoever is requesting. So it cannot be in that same directory anymore. It will be on its own directory, which is not in the directory of the source folder, but outside it. So in this case, you have both the source directory and the build directory all contained in the My React app directory separately. So that was the reason he had to go out one step to locate it before copying into the var/www/html for the React to serve it to the users. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you very much.
Lovely one.
Yeah, thank you.
You've cleared my doubts. It was actually a confusion. I always do try and error there.
Okay, can I add to Oladayo's voice?
Please do, so I can learn.
Okay. All right. So with my illustration, I think it would be best for you to picture it. Best for you to picture it. So picture the source code as the bowl containing the egg, the flour, and the other ingredients. And then picture the build as the cake. So now if you are going back to that mixing bowl to look for cake, you can't find it there. It is no longer there. You're no longer in the source code. So once you have mixed up everything and baked in the oven and have your cake, you can't find the cake in the mixing bowl anymore. So it is out of the source code. Now you have to look for it in the, around the oven.
Excellent.
Sorry, who just spoke now?
It's Cynthia.
Thank you for that, Cynthia. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
Cynthia.
Well illustrated.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Well,
Cynthia has killed it.
Oh, she has nailed it. She nailed it, actually. She did. Lovely, Group 1. That was a lovely presentation.
Thank you very much. Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. We still have few minutes. If anyone had question, then please ask. It's all good. Then thank you so much. We can move ahead. Group number 2, please. Who is there in group 2?
Manish and
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Manish, are you there?
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm here.
Manish is there, and
Yeah, sir. Manish and Sam Kaliza and Mustafa.
okay, who is going to present?
Yes, sir.
Manish is going to present.
Okay, Manish.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. This is Manish Gantiala from Group 2. And my team, as we have three from Group 2, there is Mustafa Nuruddin, Sam Kaliso, and myself. Yeah. As we are getting into this project, we are deploying Epicrit's marketing website using Nginx as a web server. Like it's we are now deploying as a real world demo session. So let's get into the agenda. Here we have a project overview, deploy a production ready marketing site, and system architecture, and pre-flight checks, retrieving the website source code, footer modification, deploy to production, public verification, then come into mini ops checks and definition of done, then key learnings that we have done. So this is the agenda we have for this project. Then let's dive into the project. So here a mission we have like deploying a here we have a mission to deploy an application. So the main objective is to deploy Epicrit's marketing website into live server. Yeah, we have using Ubuntu as a virtual machine, then making it publicly accessible to users worldwide via Nginx web server. So why only Nginx? Here we have a main thing that why only we use Nginx. So Nginx is a most reliable and it is a past performance based web server as a lot of big industry level standards they'll use Nginx as a server like it is a high performance and it consumes low RAM and then performs high. It handles most of the users in a low RAM. So this is the main cons we have you by using Nginx. So then when we can using this Nginx, we can deploy our application and then publicly we can reach publicly it is going to be accessibility. So wall sites it must be reachable by 24/7. This project simulates you production deployment where uptime and scalability and we have critical. So we can make into the next step. We have system architecture. So this is a system architecture. When it comes to architecture, we have main thing as Ubuntu. So in between Ubuntu and public port, we have Nginx. Like it is a main foundation for deploying the application. So when we can do everything in the Ubuntu virtual machine as a web hosting for the application. So we have Nginx web server. It handles the requests and serves the content. Then by with accessible by public port. So it is a production step setups where your web server sites between your application and the internet. It handles the HTTP request. Then comes into the pre-flight checks. Before going to starting our Nginx running or Nginx environment setup, we have to must ensure we have to take these steps to to check whether our environment is working fine or not. So we can by using these steps, by following these steps, we can prevents the deployment failures. Then we can prevent the deployment failures and ensures the environment readiness. So we have the four commands. So first one is host name. It verifies the server identity and critical managing multiple VMs. Then second one is LSB and hyphen underscore release hyphen A. It will confirms our Ubuntu version and security updates. Then after installing Nginx, while we have installed, so we can check whether the Nginx is installed or not. So we can perform the Nginx-v by checking the version to support the features. And after that, checking the status to which validates our Nginx is running before deployment begins. So it won't be skipped in real deployments. We have to check these steps as to prevent the deployment failures. So then let's come into the deployment. Okay, we can retrieve the code from the GitHub profile, GitHub repo, and we can unzip the code. Then we can move into the, we can check whether the structure is correctly deployed, downloaded or not. We have to check the files, whether the index files and CSS files assets are correct missing. So it won't break the deployment. So this we have to must and check it the steps. Then we have to ownership as a footer modification. Why this will be matters. So in a company like in a production level, most of the companies use deployment tags, versions, and build IDs to track who has deployed the thing and on what time it is happened and why it is happened. So it is completely will be tracked as a proof. So we have to adapt this type of thing for our deployment. So it will be ensures that our originality and proof of work we have done as hands-on experience. So then let's come into the implementation. So can replace the existing footer, and we can add this existing with our DMI code name, with our name, and group 4 with week and date of the day. Then we can verify that it should be happen. After that, we can deploy the application into production. Then this is the most thing we are going to do. So then when we modified the content, after that we can copy those files into the web root, whether the Nginx default version as installed. Then comes into the after copying the Nginx, after copying our template code, we can test the configuration whether it is perfectly configured or not. So we won't get any failures. We'll check before deploying the application. We'll get the what is happen. I am doing correctly or not. We'll know what. So by testing the configuration, we'll get to know what is happened there. So then we can reload the app, and we won't get any dropping connections within zero downtimes. So never, this is the main point we have to remember here. Never restart Nginx without testing first. So without directly, if we copied the files to the web root, directly we can restart, right? So we don't do like that. Instead of that, we can use Nginx-t as a main configuration. If you get your configuration is successful, then we can move on to the reload, and we can check the production, right? So that is the thing we have to do that right now. Then after that, where there is a public verification, right? Moment of the truth. Here it will shows our thing as we deployed. So when we access the application via public IP, we have to confirm the epic read size displays correctly with all images and without all the content, without missing any content. So we have to check the footer as a proof as we changed our ownership, right? So we have to confirm that thing, and then after that we can even access, we try to access from other devices instead of the same device or mobile device we can access. So we'll get to know it is it is going to be accessible publicly via web browser. So that the proof of the verification we will get confirmed that is our web browser is served via Nginx via publicly. Then after deployment, not only deployment is the biggest task, we have to check the off checks as a post deployment health. After deployment, after deploying the application, we have to check more. Just we can't deploy and can't leave it away. Just we can monitor our things, system monitoring, and how it is going to be performed when the users are going to be accessible. So we have to check these type of things in our productions. So for this we can validation for configuration validation, we can confirm that no corruptions or any deployment issues will find out the things in the after this configuration validation. Then it can come into that or we have to check must our status is running, so the web server won't be go down. So we have to check the status is running with no errors and no warnings. So why uptime is matters. So in production we have even downtimes can cost thousands of revenue and the damage in the health issues, right? In real time, like we are accessing most of the applications, like somewhere we can face Instagram down, somewhere we can face Twitter down. So these are things, some the things is going to be happen because of this might be chances for getting downtime. So we have to check each and everything as a production level. So we'll get to know what is happening behind the scenes. So that's the thing we have to do exactly after deployment the things in a production level. Then it will going to be done after it, like it is a definition of done. We can finally we can achieve that, like website is going to be live and the ownership has proved and the Nginx is running healthy without without errors, and it is 24 by 7 uptime. So the project is as a fundamental DevOps practices like environment evaluation, safe deployment procedures, ownership verification. We have a lot of the things for these. So these are the projects we have to execute like a deployment in the real-time environments. Thank you. This is our first assignment.
It's very good. You have explained very well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I have a second assignment also.
So you will present both assignment, right?
Yeah, sir. After this, my team is going to be doing practically.
Okay, go ahead. But I think there are many people in your team.
I think we have 3, sir.
So it's not only TL, it's your group also, right? Anyone
Yeah,
has
but
right to present.
yeah,
Okay,
but
next time please discuss with your team also, right?
yeah, sir.
I mean, you cannot only present all the demo.
Yeah,
There are
exactly.
many people in your team. Okay,
Yeah,
they can
exactly.
also present.
So Mustafa is going to do the demo.
It's okay, no problem. Please, Manish, go ahead, no problem.
Yes. And then comes into the production server maintenance deal. It is a ops call, like on call DevOps engineer can checks what the thing is going to happen after deployment in a production level. So there is an agenda for checking this. There is a server access. We have to check in reality. There is a phase one by network checks matters, and after that service health, and after that logs, and after that system resource health, and after that configuration, then after that mini incident simulation and reliability checks. So let's come into the server access. So what we are checking actually here, you'll see what we are checking, that is the application actually reachable by real users or not. So when we accessible the web browser via publicly, is it really accessible by the real users? Whether not only if I deploy the application, I can access, so it is going to be accessed, right? That's fine. Not only thing we have to check, is it really accessible by the real users? So that is the thing we have to check after production, after post to deployment. Then the simple test you can check, right? You open your browser and you can check the application and you can check the URL. Is it supposed to do working, and every content is working fine, and we have to checking the proofs exactly. So it won't blocked by any firewalls or any instance downtime. So it is going to be a huge matter that first thing we can on as it on call engineers, as we have check it in an incident. So before diving into logs, we have commands to confirm whether the health is really working or fine. So we have to check before coming into the logs. Then after that, we have phase one, networking and access check. In networking, we can check our network interfaces like IPA. We can when we type IPA command, it is verified that network our IP are assigned correct IP assigned or assigned IP is correctly working or not. So IP won't be changed. Like we can check the by using command IPA, and after that IP there is a command for the gateway IP route to confirm that server knows how to reach the network through its default gateway. Every network has a default gateway, right? So it must and should be accessible. It must and should be routed by the default gateway. We can check it by IP route command. After that, we can check the DNS resolution by testing these commands. There are two similar commands we have. One is dig and another one is ping. So we can it will shows different output, but it should be matches. Like DNS is going to be resolution. It is going to be check whether load balancing. Like we can use DNS as a front end, and in back end load balance is going to be happen. So we don't know which IP is going to be accessing our request. There are multiple instances going to run as a load balancer. So if a server handles most of the requests, one server goes to the one instance, sorry, one request goes to another instance, another request is going to be another instance. So it is the load balancer is going to be happen in real production. So instead of this, we can use as a DNS. It is called DNS domain name server system. So let's come into the open ports. We can check which ports are being opened through our VM. So we can check by the sudo ss hyphen toolplan, and as after that UFW status. It will shows whether the firewalls and rules are currently active or not. So why network? Why network checks matters? So in production, we won't have to skip this type of thing. So the network must and should be the correctly connected to the server. So network issues, if you face any network issues, if you face any downtime, if you have any health issue, like system health issues, so it is going to be down for our instance. So we have to check completely as running these type of network commands for the resolution. So if we production, if we skip it in production, we'll get like unexpected if ports will go open, or insecurity vulnerabilities is getting, or DNS failures is going to happen, or gateway issues will be happen. So these type of things is going to happen if you won't check our network commands in real time. So this is comes next to service health and system management. Here we have critical Nginx commands. So here we have critical Nginx commands like Nginx status, and is Nginx is going to be enabled or not, our Nginx configuration is correctly configured or not, and these are the things we have to go into check after deployment. It must shows the correct outputs for our deployment, so it won't get into downtime. In production, we can, if we restarting the Nginx it with broken configuration, it causes immediate downtime. It may be chances to get the instant is going to be down. So we have to check the is type of health commands to validate Nginx. Then we have logs and request handling tracing. By using these log commands, we can check our lags, what are our lags, logs is going to be written. So is there any thing is happened, or is there any failures we have getting? So if we get any errors, it will going to be present. So what we can do after that? So we can check our logs every time after deployment. This is going to be a use matter for deploying, which access log shows incoming traffic and response codes and request patterns, as well as error log shows reveals configuration errors and permission issues and failure issues, as journal CTL shows capture system performance and service level errors and if any restart events. So what are the things we have done in our production level? It is going to be shows by the journal CTL. So why logs is matters, like it shows the real truth in production. We can't know if you get an error, if you get any errors in prod, we don't know how it is, what is happening in there. So by accessing the logs, by reading the logs, we'll know what is happened during, if anyone is no one is watching this. So this is going to be happen by reading the logs, by checking the logs in your prod level. So if you face like any errors, like 404 errors, permission denials, and these type of connection errors will get, as you know. So we have to check these type of commands after production. Then comes into the resource health, system resource health. This is comes under completely system. So we can monitor our systems by checking these commands, whether uptime and free -h, and we have df -h, and we have sudo du -h. So these are disk usage commands. So we can check our disk usage is how much it is going to using our RAM, or how much disk space we have available in the system. So if the disk is going overloaded, it can't load stores the databases, it can't stores the log files. So there is a chances of the failures for these type of logs and database. So we must and should monitor the system resources, how the memory is status is going to be happen, and what was the load it is taking while serving in the web as a server. So we have here we have a critical production risk. A full disk is on one of the most common cause of production outage. Like as I told, if you if our Instagram or Twitter is like most of the applications are going to be down sometime. Maybe these are the chances to rectify it. So we have to check continuously. The applications cannot write logs, databases cannot save data, and service fail unexpectedly. If you can't check our disk storages, if you can't check our system resources, these are going to be, we can be lost. This will be failed by the service. These services are going to be failed unexpectedly. So we have this step is we have to check concurrently. Then comes into the configuration and validation. There is a deployment check, and it confirms that correct build is deployed in our production, uh, and we have spa routing. Spa routing is nothing but a single page application. It will serves as a single applications like React application. So Nginx will simply loads in low RAM, as and it handles the number of users. So that's the thing is going to happen in spa routing. So it will works correctly with proper fallback. So after that we have bad test config. It simulates it shows any misconfiguration to understand failure modes safely. And after that we have safe recovery. uh, Here always we have to validate before restart, then verify the service is recovered. So this thing we can done to recover the process if you get any failures. So this is going to be done in the real prod. then it is a final stage like security reliable practice. This is main practice we must adopt, because of if you have any password authentication disabled, we can only access it by the authorized keys on the server. So we can must and should have these type of authorizations. And we have minimal port exposure. Default I think only the HTTP and SSS are open. Every other port is blocked by the firewall. So we must and should, if like we are exposing the ports only in HTTP, right? In real time, there are number of ports, like port 8080, port 9001, like for the Kubernetes. So there are number of different ports we have. So this is in here. There is a security, like you have must ensure that it is opened by the 22 and 8080 port, and there is an auto start on boot. When we directly install the Nginx, it will going to be enabled on auto. It will going to automatically, it is going to be enabled to start automatically after system reboot. So ensuring the service is continuing. So we have to check the status whether the service has continued perfectly or not. Then no hardcode secret should be there. So credential and API keys are never committed to code or stored in plain text. So when we store our any credentials, it is going to be encrypted. So no, these are the checks we have to be performed in our production level. Like there are the keyways takeaways on call. As a on call engineer, we have think before acting. So we can, when before going to be deploying our any application, we have to think whether, so what is going to happen if after deployment. So we can plan as a make it as a plan. So understand what a command does before running it in production. It can cause outage. So if you directly hurry, we can do any actions like we can't without seeing anything. It is going to be chances for the outages. We can must and should, we have to validate before restart. And after that, we have to check logs are critical. When something breaks, logs tells you what happened. Check access and errors and system logs. Logs is the main goals, main motto. So we have to check logs for the understanding what the thing is happened or what the failure we have faced in the real time. So these are the things is going to be happen in the real time. Thank you so much.
Excellent presentation, Manish. Well done.
Thank you so much. And Mustafa is going to be do the demo. And how over this to Mustafa.
Till now, any question? If you want, you can ask. If you have any question. No question? Okay. Okay, then go ahead, please.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mustafa, we can.
Yeah, my name is Mustafa. I am representing Group-2. So I'm going to be working on this demo. This demo, it demonstrates the deployment of a production website, static website on AWS and Nginx. The objective of this is to validate real-world DevOps fundamentals, including servers readiness, checks, source code handling, and ownership. So to start with, these are the things that I will need. What do you need for this particular demo? The first thing I'm going to need is the Ubuntu server. After that, I'm going to install Nginx and give access to the VM and open port 80 HTTP. So follow me through as I launch my Ubuntu server. Okay.
Mustafa, you're muted.
Okay. I'm going to be launching my Ubuntu server here. I'm going to name it Epic Rigs. I'm going to be using Ubuntu, the free tier on T2 Micro. Okay, the key pair, I have a key pair already. We use DMI. The network settings, I'm going to enable auto assign IP address. Security groups. On the security groups, I'm going to use the security group. It has HTTP and SSH enabled already. So I'm going to launch my H2 instance. Okay. My H2 instance is coming up. I have the IP address already. So now what I need to do is to SSH into my server. I'm going to be using the my Git bash. First of all, I need to seed it to where I have my PEM key. Okay. Okay, I have my PEM key in downloads. I'm going to follow this command here. This is the command I'm going to use from d400 dmi.pem. This is going to give me the permission to be able to SSH into my server from my local Git bash. Okay. The next command I'm going to use is this. With this SSH, using my PEM key and my Ubuntu server with my IP address. So this completely gave me access to my server. Okay. Okay. So with this, I have successfully SSH into my server. Now, the next thing I need to do is to install Nginx. Okay, before I install Nginx, I want to update my server to do apt install. Put the apt update -y. This is going to install and update my server with all the necessary dependencies. Once I'm done with this, I can put every other thing on the server. Okay, it's still coming up. Okay, fine now. So I need to install Nginx. Sudo apt install Nginx -y. This -y gives me the permission to just install it without asking for additional prompts. Okay, good. Nginx is installed already. So what's the next thing? Okay, port 80 is opened. Okay, I would like to, before I continue, I would like to check my IP address and browse my IP address if my Nginx is actually live. Okay, this is it. Because without the Nginx, I can't go further. All right, I need to change this to HTTP, then enter. Okay, good. My Nginx is live. That is a good sign. So let's continue. Okay. Now, task 1 said get website source code. I'm good to GitHub. Click here. So I'm going to get this source code from this place, from the GitHub. All right. It says I need to download the source code. All right. Let me do that. I'm going to do this, copy link address, go to my Git bash. Okay, I'll do wget paste the source code. All right, here there is an instruction that told us that we should unzip site.zip. I'm going to rename this particular source code to site.zip. So I'll put -0 site.zip. Okay, think I'm there. Right, what would I do? Okay, I want to ls list what I have there. ls -heli. Okay, I have the site.zip already. So now I need to unzip this particular source code for me to have access to the web contents. Without unzipping, I can't have access to the web content. So before I do that, I need to install unzip. So I'll do sudo apt install unzip. Okay, it's coming up. All right, good. So now what I need to do now is to unzip that particular folder. I'll do sudo unzip. Okay, site.zip. Okay, no problem. Sudo unzip main.site. Okay, now I have the web contents right now. These are the web contents. ls -heli to list what I have. Okay, now this is a particular template I need for my web content. So the next thing for me to do is to let me get what I have to do. And okay, now it says we've actually completed task 1. Task 2 says add ownership proof. You must edit the footer line below and add your proof. So this footer line, we can actually find the footer line inside index.html. And for us to get index.html, we need to see into this particular folder. So let me see into this folder. Praveen. Okay. cd let's -la. We need to list what we have inside that particular folder. Okay, yeah, good. This is index.html. Now, I need to edit what I have inside index.html to be able to do the next tag. So I can use nano. Okay, let me use sudo nano index.html. All right. So this is what we have inside index.html. This are all the code, and what we have to edit is the footer. Okay, I'm coming. All right, I can see my cursor now. Okay, here we are. Okay, I'll carefully edit this particular space. All right, let me go to the Udemy guide. Okay, said this is the original code, and I need to add this particular line inside the code. So I'll just copy it, come to my code, and paste. Okay, after pasting, then I now edit, carefully edit. All right, let me change the name. Let me add mine. Okay. From Group-2 week 5, date 2nd February 9th 09. Okay, I think that's all. Let me see. All right, that is all. What we need to do now is to save. Save this. Save modified buffer. Yes. Enter. So now I've actually edited the footer. Okay, the next thing I need to do is to deploy this website via Nginx. Everything I've actually done is in the folder, but I need to now input it on Nginx. It's Nginx that is going to actually serve the web content. So for task 3, I actually have a documentation I will just copy first to deploy faster. So I need to clear the default web root first. So I'm going to use this code, this command. This clears the web root on Nginx. So I'll input that, paste. Now, for me to confirm if this particular command actually works, I'll have to go back to our Nginx server, Nginx page, and reload it. So definitely, we've actually removed the web content on Nginx. So now we need to now put our web content on this Epic Read web content on this particular Nginx for us to be successful with this deployment. Okay, let me go to deploy. Now the next thing I need to do is to copy the web files. I'm copying the web files to var www.html. This is the web root of Nginx. I'm going to paste that. All right, it's been pasted, copied. Now I need to check if my web content has actually been successfully copied. All right, ls var www html. All right, okay, I have my readme images html, the index.html, the way I edited, and these other things, style.css, and cool. Now the next thing is to set permission. This permission is actually change the owner, like change owner of this particular particular directory into this particular path. So I'll use this command, copy and paste. Paste. Okay. All right. The next one. All right. This command, sudo, I think change directory or something like that. 755. It allows you to be able to edit, read, and modify what you have in var www/html. Without this permission, you can actually have access to modify modify your web content. So I'll paste that also. All right. Okay. The next thing is to actually validate and restart Nginx. So we use sudo nginx -t. Okay, let's see what we have from that. Okay, from here it says nginx, the configuration file etc nginx.config syntax is okay. That is good. Configuration file etc nginx.config.conf test is successful, so we are on track. All right. Then I need to restart Nginx. Remember, our Nginx site is actually down right now because we actually removed the content of the default content on Nginx. So we now want to dump our own content in Nginx. So let's restart Nginx. Paste. So the systemctl restart Nginx. Okay. Next, we use this to get the status of Nginx. Nginx has to be okay. Now, if we have Nginx active and the service is enabled, preset enabled, and the memory processes, I think we are actually good. Let me do systemctl status. Okay, let me do enable so I can now go to our browser, enable Nginx. Okay. Okay. Enable Nginx. Okay, good. Now let's reload our server, our browser. Okay, good. Our server is actually up right now. So let's check the action we did, the editing we actually did. So okay, here we have the footer. This is the editing we did earlier. Now let's continue. Okay, we are done with task 3. So task 4, verify website is live and public. Okay, that's what we actually did here. Good. Next is task 5, mini real DevOps operation check. These are mandatory. I think these are the ops check here. We have them all up here. So we use host name. This host name, the output is that it actually shows us our IP address, who is actually logged into this server. Okay, yeah, we have our IP. Okay. Yes, LSB release iPhone 8 has also print out Nginx status with version. Okay, Ubuntu. That means this is the virtual machine we're actually using. The virtual machine, the distro. If it was Linux, it's going to show Linux here. And this is a version, this is a code name. Okay, we're good. Okay, let me see. I have Nginx V here. Copy. Am I not supposed to have sudo? Let me try that first. Nginx V. Okay, version Ubuntu, still telling me the same thing. All right. The last one is sudo systemctl status Nginx iPhone no pager. Paste. Okay. think we are done with tax. We're done with tax 5. So acceptance criteria as the definition of tone. You pass if all are true, the website is live on HTTP and your IP address. Okay, we have that. This is check. Secondly, we have the footer shows DMI cohort 2, your full name, group, the week where you deploy this particular change and the date. Okay, let's go to the footer. Okay, yes, we have the footer here. The thought in Nginx is successful. Let's go to our terminal. Nginx is enabled, running. Everything looks fine. What else? Nginx service is running. Okay, that's what we just checked. Okay, it's active. All right, I think that is actually all for this presentation, this demo. Okay, that is all about this demo. Thank you, everybody. I hope you actually understand my demo. In case you have any question, you can ask.
Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you so much. Excellent. You have explained very well.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
sir.
Yes, guys, if you have any question, please ask.
Yeah, Mustafa, very lovely presentation. I also like to say thank you to Manish. His presentation was also lovely. Now, my question, I'm diverting, it's not directed to you guys, but I think it will be directed to our mentors. I just noticed something now. When we're doing the first assignment, they told us to build the application or whatever. But in this second one, there was no issue of building the application. The question didn't ask us to build anything. We were just copying the zip file into the server. We unzipped the zip file, then did the process of transferring it to the HTML and all that. So the question now is this: when do we build applications? Where do we not build? Because in this case now, we didn't do anything like building, but we're still able to deploy our application to the server. But in the first one, we were asked to build. Though I know even if we still did not build, it might have run. So what's the rationale behind the building now? Why is that one different from this one? Why are we not told to build in this particular question in the assignment we are giving for this week 2 or week 2, this assignment that Mustafa just did now for the epic reads? That's my question. I don't know if I'm clear.
It's clear. It's clear. No problem. Is there any commentator who can answer this? One actually. Any commentator wants to answer this question? Yes, I will be happy to. I hope you understood, Abhishek and Tanisha. You understood what the question is.
Miss sir.
Would you like to answer?
Tanisha, did you get that? I have missed it.
Tanisha, you are mute. You are on mute. Tanisha, you are on mute.
I'm doing something, so I haven't asked. Can you repeat the question? I will answer your question.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
My question is this. For the presentation done by Group-1, there was a place they asked us to build the application and all that. Before it was a built application that was copied to the HTML before it was deployed. But in this next one, Mustafa just presented that had to do with the epic reads. We're not asked to build anything at all. So why the difference? What's the essence of building? The importance of the building. When do you actually build for safe DevOps practices. I just want to understand the reason, the rationale behind building for the first assignment, and for the second one, we're not building, we're not asked to build.
So first like we have React application. So first is React application where we have to build all the things and put them in, like here the one folder is created. So I can show you. For the React application, we need to firstly build all the contents, like, so it will converted into, there is a folder. In the folder, after the build, a folder is created, and that folder we have copy into the, so
Okay,
for the
okay.
React application
Yeah,
we need,
Tanisha,
but
okay.
after, yes.
Let me explain it. Okay, no problem. Okay, great. Your question is very good. Okay. So basically, whenever we create any application, right? So it will be created in a language. Okay, you can say in React or Java, in .NET, Python, Go. There are many languages, right? So whenever developer creates the application, so they select in which language they are creating that application, right? For example, if create in React application, okay. So after that, they read a notepad, a README file. Okay, README file is there, and all instructions are there, like how we will build that application. For example, it's a React application, so there will be a you can say a package.json file, right? In that there will be dependencies there. What we have to need, what kind of library we need, what kind of software we need to run that application to build that. Okay, and why we are going to build that? We are going to build that because browser understand only HTML and JSON kind of file. Okay, there are many other exe and other format kind of files are there. So they have to build that application, right? Any application, you can say React application, Java application, .NET, all applications are there. We have to build that application, right? After that, we will get HTML kind of format, HTML format, we will get file. Okay. After that, our browser will understand that. Okay. Then we will, and that part we will, we say that artifact. We call them artifacts. Okay.
Artifacts, yeah.
Okay. After that, we will deploy that artifact on our server, on Nginx server. Okay. Then Nginx will work, and after that, we can open that our application on browser. Okay. And if we talk about Praveen sir, just earlier they downloaded files and all these things, right? So earlier they have already their artifacts, actually they have already built that application. Okay, after that they have uploaded there. Are you
Okay, I
getting?
get it. Yes, sir.
No,
So,
sir,
so this
much.
time we
that
don't need to,
Praveen
yeah.
sir is in HTML CSS only. So we do not have to build that application. It is
Yes,
only in
yes,
HTML CSS.
yes.
So
You already HTML CSS. Okay.
Basically,
yeah,
we do not need any another dependencies required
yes,
to
we do
run a
not.
HTML or CSS file.
Thank
For
you very much.
React application, we need that part. So that's why
Thank you
we
very
are
much.
using
Yeah.
build.
Okay,
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome, Greg. Is there any other question you can ask?
Okay. Sorry. For that should go. This question should go to Mustafa now. When you were using the wget, you inserted the link to download the main.zip file. They also put a /0 site zip. Was that basically to copy that file to the site zip? Sorry, Mustafa, can you hear me? Or Group-2?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear
When
you.
you copy that file, the
Yeah.
wget, you put the links, previous template and all that.
Yes.
After the main.zip, there was a space, there was a -0, then a space site.zip.
Yeah.
Were you actually copying that file to site.zip? Because I noticed when you did your ls for your home directory on the server, you were having a main.zip and you're having a site.zip. Was it because basically you were trying to do that and create it on site.zip, creating your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So actually, the site.zip were you actually creating a zip of that file you were getting?
Okay, the thing is
the syntax and the structure of that line.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
All right. So I think the source code that I copied, it's in zip format. You understand that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
now on the instruction on Udemy, it said unzip iPhone whole site.zip. So that means you need to change the name of that particular source code to site.zip instead of having that very long name. So it creates that particular site.zip as it changed the name from that that long format into site.zip. So when you now want to unzip, you don't need to use that source code again. What you just need to use is a site.zip. So it automatically creates main.zip and site.zip. I've actually been saying it in all the document, the demos. It creates site.zip and main.zip. So it's actually a renaming command.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what got me confused then was that after you had done that, when you were trying to unzip the site.zip, you were having some challenges. You know how to unzip the main.zip. That's why the question was now came up.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I noticed when I've actually tried to use site.zip, it was not it seems as if the web content are not on the site.zip, it was on the main.
Okay.
So initially, when I did this I actually downloaded the zip file. So when I downloaded the zip file, I now have to go and clone the zip file. After cloning the zip file, I now unzip. When I unzip, it was taking me to main, like a main branch.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that is why it's also creating main. I will still have to properly research on that.
Okay.
I'm actually also still learning. So
the question was not to stress you and all that, but it's because that's why I was wondering, because if it had actually, because I saw it as a naming, so that should have been the file you had saved. But I know maybe you still had that one that you had done before, so that one was able to work to attention when you are presenting, Sha. So it's okay. It's okay. I think I will try that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
You did a lovely job. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, is there any other question we can? We still have a few minutes, so you can ask any question.
If you don't have any questions, we have one more demo session, sir.
You have one more demonstration?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sam
Okay,
is
then.
going to be present.
Okay, then please go ahead.
Yeah, Sam.
It's assignment number 4, I think, right?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Okay, please go ahead.
So as we did, right, I think this is assignment 3. So before going to do assignment 3, we have done assignment 4, because of after completion of those practical thing, we have to expose these things practically. So these are the production drill sticks.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
we have to show practically. That's why we planned this.
Okay,
Yeah,
no problem.
Sam,
Go
you
ahead.
can.
Hello, everyone. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Sam,
please.
you can go.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you so much. So after we have done, we have deployed our EC2 instance, the next thing that we want to look into are the production drills, right? We need to really understand now whether our site is really saving. Sorry, let me open this one properly. So the questions that we need to ask ourselves are, is it saving? If yes, what does it prove? If no, what is your first suspicion, right? So after we have deployed our EC2 instance, Let me copy this and put it, sorry. We can, sorry. We can actually see that our EC2 instance is now saving, right? Right. So after this, we now need to do some production drills. We need to check for a few things within our EC2 instance, right? The first thing that we want to check out for are the networking, right? Even if we have our EC2 instance running, even if we have so much, we have sufficient RAM, we have sufficient disk, but at the end of the day, we need to make sure that our EC2 instance can actually communicate with other EC2 instances, right? So the first thing that we'll need to look out for are the IP addresses. Do our EC2 instances have an IP address? So the first command that we are going to do is we are going to copy this IPA command, right? Let me just go to my right. I'm just gonna SSH into it. Then let me say Ubuntu. Let's go to 15. So I am SSHing into my EC2 instance now. Right, we are in now. Right. So the first thing that we want to look out for is the IP addresses. Does our EC2 instance have an IP address? So the command that we're going to offer is IPA. Enter. Right. As we can see from the screen right now, we are told that we have got a loopback IP. What does this loopback IP do? This loopback IP checks if our own system can actually communicate to itself. What do I mean by this? Is this EC2 instance working properly, that it can actually communicate with other EC2 instances? How do we check that? We ping ourselves using this loopback IP, right? So after checking that, if we see that we can actually ping ourselves, the next thing that we look at is the IP address. Do we have an IP address for this EC2 instance? And then we can see, yes, this EC2 instance actually has an IP address, and this is written inet 172.31.6.128, and then the CIDR block is /20, right? And also here we can actually see that the broadcast is 172.31.15.255. This is actually the last usable IP address, right? And then also here we can also see this way, which is written inet 6. This is also another IPv6. It's another address for this machine. Actually, it's an IPv6, and this one is IPv4. So we can safely confirm that our that our web server actually has an IP address, right? So we then now go to the Next one. After we have confirmed that we do have this IP address, what then do we need to look out for again? Right. We need to look out for the default route. Right. Since we have confirmed that we do have our IP address, right, the next question to ask ourselves is, can this web server communicate with the outside network, not the one that we have here in our local machine? So the next question that the next command that we need to put out there is IP route. Right. So what does this one do? It is going to check if we do have a default route. Right. So what does the default route do? So without this default route, that means that our EC2 instance here cannot be able to communicate with any other external traffic that is outside of our EC2 instance. So we can see this default route over here. It's written default via 31.0.172.31.0.1. So whatever traffic that is going out of our EC2 instance going to the internet, it exits through this default route. If it doesn't have this one, then that means our EC2 instance cannot communicate with anything that is outside of the EC2 instance. And we can also see there is our source. It will be coming from our IP address. Right. Now that we have confirmed that our EC2 instance does have an IP address, and now we have confirmed that it can actually communicate with the external networks, why don't we then try to talk to something? Why don't we then try to maybe look for this pravinmishra.com so that we can see, because Pravin Mishra is not within this EC2 instance. So that means that it is outside of our EC2 instance. So let's try to communicate with the external network and see if we are able to do that. So for that, we are going to use this we are going to use the dig command, and then we are going to dig the pravinmishra.com. Right. So as we can see the output here, it shows us that when we're digging pravinmishra.com, it shows us that it has got 4 IP addresses. That means that this pravinmishra.com on its own, it is load balancing into 4 IP addresses. Sometimes when you would type in your URL pravinmishra.com, it can take you to this .83. Sometimes it will take you to this .85. Sometimes it will take you to this .44, right? So we can also check which using this Pravin Mishra only. What are we getting from this DNS, right? So as you can see that it shows us that it has got 4 IP addresses, and this pravinmishra.com is using the a record on the DNS servers, right? We can use the dig command, or we can actually use the host command. This one we are checking for the DNS. So even with the host command, you can actually see that it is actually still giving us the same thing, right? As you can see that this Pravin Mishra has got these 4 IP addresses, right? So the next thing that we want to check out for is the connectivity test. right? So we want to try something out. We want to ping the cloudadvisory.com, right? What does this ping do? The ping actually tests for connectivity, whether we are able to communicate with this the cloudadvisory.com. That is what this ping does. So what we are going to do, we are going to issue this command. Okay, as we can see, judging from the output, we are told that we have received 64 bytes from the server 1867.65.100, right? This server here, this IP address is for this, the cloudadvisory.com. So here what we have done is we have said we are testing whether we can connect to this advisory, the cloudadvisory.com. We want to at least check for 4 packets only, right? So as you can see here, we are told that we have 4 packets that were transmitted, right? We stated it that we want at least 4 packets. So we are told here that we transmitted 4 packets and then we received 4 packets and there is no packet that is lost. And for this communication to happen, it only took us 3,005 milliseconds. So that means that our EC2 instance now can actually communicate with this external network, which is the cloudadvisory.com. Right. So after this, we want to also check out for the ports that we have in our local machine and also the processes that are owning those ports. Right. For that, we are going to use this toolpen command. So let me clear this. Right. As you can see here, we have got net ID process, and here we are seeing the TCP, the UDP. If you check down here, you can see there is TCP going downwards, and then here we are told the state, whether it is listening or the other one. And then here we have got received. This one is stating how many packets we are receiving or any packets that we are sending outside of our EC2 instance. And then here, this is where we have our local address and the ports that these ones are mapped to, right? And then this one is for the peer address and its ports, right? So as we can see here, we have got this port 22. And then we can simply tell that this port 22 is for our SSH. And remember, when we're creating our EC2 instance, we just said anyone who wants to connect to our EC2 instance from anywhere. That's why we are getting this 0.0.0.0. This means that it's anywhere, anyone, anywhere can actually connect via port 22, that is the SSH. And we can also see here that we also have this port 80, which is linked into our Nginx here, and it also tells us that anyone who wants to communicate to us from anywhere, this person can actually communicate with us from using this port 80. Okay. So the next thing that we need to check out for again is the firewall status. What does this mean? We need to check for basic security signal, whether it is configured or not. So the command that you're going to use is this one. I'm going to clear this. Right. So as we can see here, it states that the status is inactive. So this means that there is no firewall that is configured on this EC2 instance. Right. So after checking the networking settings. Now we want to go and check the service health and the process validation. Here now we want to look into the system. All right. So the first thing that we want to look into is whether the status of our Nginx server that we have deployed into this EC2 instance. So the command that we are going to use is status Nginx. Right. So as we can see here, we are checking whether our Nginx is serving properly, and it is stating that our Nginx, it is actually active and it's running, right? Everything is enabled and is present, right? So this actually tells us that our Nginx is actually serving well. Right. So we also want to check that what if maybe we rebooted our system, right? Does this Nginx still continue to work as it is supposed to? So we issue this command to check whether Nginx is enabled, right? So as we can see here, it shows us that it is actually enabled. Right. So the next thing that we also want to check within this system is that if the configuration and the syntax, everything is working properly. So we are just going to issue this sudo nginx-t. What does this command do? It checks if our config is valid, such that if we restart our Nginx, whether it is not going to give us any error. So we need to check using this Nginx -t. So as we can all see, it is showing us that the syntax is okay and the test is successful. This means that even if we are to restart our Nginx, that means it is going to continue working as it is supposed to. Now, now we want to identify which are the master processes and the worker processes in our EC2, right? So we are going to give this command, this PS command, right? So we are saying that go and grab the Nginx master and the Nginx worker, right? So it is going to show us who is the master process and who is the worker process. So our output shows us that we can actually see that this one is the master and our master is the root. And then we have got the worker process, which is then the www.-data. Now, the next thing that we want to check out for in our server is the PIDs and where these PIDs are listening. So we want to check for the one that is listening on port 80. So we're just going to issue this command. Right. So as we can see here, there is our port mapping, and the process ID that is actually listening on port 80 is 1968. That is the process ID that is listening on port 80. So we want to do some self-restart drills. We are going to simulate. We are just going to restart our Nginx just to check. if everything is going to work fine. So we are going to issue the command systemctl restart nginx. And then after that, we are going to check the status again to see if everything is still working properly as it is supposed to. Right, we can see that our nginx is active and it is enabled. Right, so there are some questions that you need to ask yourself as you are doing these drills. What could happen in the real production if nginx restarts and it doesn't come back? And you also need to ask yourself, what is your rollback plan for that? Let's say it doesn't come back. Then the next stage that we want to go and look into are the system logs, right? So we want to check whatever traffic that is coming into our server, whatever errors that we are getting from our server, right? So for us to be able to do all that, we need to check whether our system is live, whether we can our system is live. Yes. So we are going to issue this kill command. Okay. This is 4.1.1.2.7. Right. So with us seeing this HTML, it states that we can actually reach our server. So that means that we can be able to have traffic that is coming in and coming out, and we can actually see it. Right. So the next command that we need to issue is the same one, but this one is going to check the traffic headers. So what this one checks for are the things like this status 200, okay. It is going to check for the date, the content type, and all these other things, the headers of our page. Right. So it is mandatory that you do this first before you then go to check your logs. So for us to check our logs, we are going to use the tail command. We are going to use the tail command. Where are we checking these logs? We are checking them in the var folder, right? So for this one, we want to check for the last 30 lines of the access logs, right? So we are issuing this command. Right. So what we are simply saying here, we are saying, can you check the number of lines, the last 30 ones? This one, the tail is the last ones at the end of this access.log. Right. So we can see that these are all the logs that are inside our web server. So simply logs the traffic that is coming in or going out. These are the logs that we are actually talking about. Right. So the next thing that we want to look out for are the errors in those logs. We have seen that in these logs, we can be getting the get, the put, though any traffic that is hitting our server, those are the logs that we're talking about. And right now, what we want to look for are the errors inside those logs. So again, we are going to check for the last 30 error logs that we have within our server. Oh, give me the wrong one. right? So we have issued this command. So here what it says that we just give us any last 30 logs, error logs that are there in this server, and we are only seeing these few ones. If maybe if our application maybe was big and it was saving, actually maybe we could be seeing so many error logs that, because this is a demo, that is why we are not seeing so much of the errors. That's why we are only getting these 3 errors here. The next thing that we want to check out for right now is the system, right? The service level problems, right? So with that, we are going to use the generalctl command. What does this generalctl command do? It checks our Nginx. It actually checks our system, right? For whether it started, it stopped, whatever that was happening with our web server. So we will come here and then we give this code. So if you say generalctl -new Nginx no pager, at least 50 number of the logs, right? So what we are getting here, we are seeing here, it says Nginx started, Nginx started, Nginx stopped, it deactivated successfully, right? What it simply tells us is that I remember that when Mustafa was presenting, there was a time when he actually restarted the server. This is what we will be seeing here. When the server stops, it doesn't mean that deactivated. It means that maybe it was failing or something. It means that it went into the stopping mode and it deactivated successfully. And then it started again, it stopped again. That is what this means. So you can actually come and check using this generalctl to see how your Nginx server is doing. Right. And then there is a question here which says, did you see any errors? If yes, list 1 or 2. Yeah, we saw the errors. If you look up where we did the access log, the error logs, we saw some errors here and there, right? So for phase 4, we then want now to look into the system resource health, right? So now we want to check for the health of our web server, right? So the first thing that we want to look for is we want to know whether this can handle traffic that is coming in. We want to know whether this, let's say maybe if our application gets bigger, will it be able to handle that traffic? Will there be enough memory for us to handle such big traffic, right? So the first thing that we want to look into right now is the uptime, right? So we are just going to do the uptime command, right? As we can see here, the first thing that this server is telling us, it is telling us here, this is the clock. We can actually see the time. And then we can see that this server has been up for 1 hour. And there are 2 users who are using this server. And that is Mustafa and me. So that is what uptime is going to show us. The next thing that you want to check out for is the CPU and memory, right? So for that, we are going to use the free command, right? So if we say free, and then we want it to be in human readable format, right? So here it is showing us the memory, right? And it is telling us that the total that we have is 957. And then the memory that is already used is 349. And then the free one that we have is 221. And then the shared one. And then we also have the cache. And then it is telling us the one that is available, which is 607. That means that this machine is in a good state. Right. So the next thing that we need to check out for is the disk space. Is there enough disk space in this system? Right. So for that, we are going to use the df command, right? So this -h, it tells us that we want it to be in a human readable form. If we're going to do it differently, then it becomes a bit difficult for us to understand and convert these things, right? So as you can see here, for the disk space, we are told that the root, it has got 6.8 gigabytes, right? And already we have used 2.1, in the one which is available is 4.7, right? And then for these temp files, here, these are the temporal files whereby if right now, for instance, right now we have installed Nginx, this is where these other things, they go and be stored in, right? And then these are the hard drives now. This is the hard drive that we have. And then for this one, this is the part which is there when the system boots, this part which says boot EFI. Right. So the next thing that we need to look into is the disk usage, right? We want to check for the things that are really consuming our disk in our system, right? So for that, we are going to use du command, right? So we want to see how many things are there that are really consuming so much of our disk, right? Right. So what this command does, as it is telling us that okay, go and search silently, use the human readable. We are checking this in the var folder, and we want it to be sorted from the highest one, right? So as we can see here, we've got, it is coming from 00, and then we've got 4, and then 4.0 going up until we reach 416, right? So right now we can simply tell that this one is the one which has got the which is highly consuming our system, right? So then the question comes, which says which resources look most risky right now and why, right? So the next phase that we are going to go into is phase 5, right? Where we are going to do the configuration and content integrity, right? So this is when now we want to go and deal with the web root of our web server, right? So the first thing that we need to confirm is whether the web root build has the files inside. So we are going to do that, and then we are just going to look for the first 20 lines that are within the web root. So we want to see whether it is saving what our build inside that web root, right? Right. So what we are simply saying here, we are saying list, use a long list, even the archives using the human readable form, and we are listing from this folder, and we just want the first lines, the head are the top ones, the number of lines just 20. That's what we want to look out for. So as you can see here, we don't have that much in our web root. We only have got these few files. So that shows us that we have our index.html. We also have our style.css. So that confirms that we do have something that is really saving from our web root, right? The next thing that we want to confirm is whether Nginx is saving our build, not the default page. For that, we need to go and look into that part where we edited, right? So we want to look at that part where it said, which is written deployed by, and then we can actually see Mustafa's name on it, right? So we really want to see whether it is saving what we deployed, right? So this is the command, right? So what it simply says, go and grab this deployed by, and then the number, and then from this folder, and then whatever that is there, just go and input it and output it in the dev.now. Right. So as we can see here, we can actually see this is the index, this is the var folder, and we are seeing this deployed by, and then we can see Mustafa's name here, and this confirms that yes, this server is actually saving what we deployed. Right. So there is a question there which says, if no output, explain why this might happen with compiled builds and what you verified instead. So for us, we can actually see it, right? Right. So the next thing that we want to confirm is the config, is the Nginx config, that it has the SPA routing, right? So whenever a traffic is coming in, Nginx goes into some certain files inside the server. So it first checks those files first, the files and the directories first. If it doesn't find anything within those files, it then throws an error. So now we want to check whether those files are there, right? So we simply say, okay, grab files in this folder, right? The default one, right? So as we can see the files, they are there, yes. So if it doesn't find these files, then that's when now this Nginx throws in this 404 error. So from here, we can actually know that these files, they are there. Right. So the next one that we want to do, now we want to do a mini incident simulation, right? So this part, we want to break some things inside our code. And then we want to see the behavior of our Nginx web server. We want to see what if we did something, how is it going to behave, right? So the first thing that we want to do, we want to do a bad config, right? We want to remove a tiny thing inside our Nginx, right? So I want us to go into this folder right now. Right. So what we are going to do right now, as you can see, everything is grayed out. That means that everything here is commented out. It doesn't matter. So what we are going to look for, we are going to look for a line. Oh, I can't see where I am. How will I do this? Okay. So all these words, we're going to leave them like that. And then we are going to scroll down to this part where we can see that it is not commented out. So the thing that we want to do, we just want to remove a semicolon, this port mapping, right? So we're just going to remove this semicolon. As you can see, I've removed the semicolon, and then we are just going to save it as it is without that semicolon, right? So the next thing that we want to check out for, we want to check for the syntax, whether it is going to fail or not. So for that, we know we use nginx-t, which is the command that checks for the configuration syntax errors and everything, right? So let's go and check using the nginx-t. Right. So from this output here, we can actually see that it is saying that the test has actually failed because of that semicolon that we have removed. Now we are getting this this test failed, right? So now we want to do something. We want to fix it, and then we see what it is going to do again, right? So I'm just going to go back to that file folder using nano. Scroll down. Okay. So I'm just returning that semicolon, then I'll save it like this. And then That's it. So I'm just going to run that command again to check our syntax for any errors. Right. As you can see now, the output now states that the configuration syntax is okay and the test is successful. Then that means that everything is now back to normal. Right. So after doing that, we then now need to restart Nginx. Remember, whenever we do a configuration inside our Nginx, we need to restart our Nginx. Then the next thing that we are going to do, we want to check for our whether it is connecting properly. So it's 215.122.7. Right. So as you can see now, it is giving us a 200 status okay. So that means everything is now working. Right. So we are going to do another one again. Now we want to Now the next thing that we are going to do, we want to go into the web root. We are just going to move the files from the normal web root that we have and we put them in a backup. And then after putting them in a backup, then we want to check the behavior of our web server, how it is going to operate after we have removed this this web root, right? So the commands that we are going to use as this one. Right. So as you can see here, we are using the mv command. That means that we are going to move everything, that build that we had. We are going to move everything from this web root, and then we are going to create a backup folder where we are going to store it there. And then after that, we'll then look at the behavior of our web server now. Right. So we have moved it. Now we want to create another directory. Yes. Then the next thing, we want to check using our IP address again. So here we have moved everything from this web root to that, and then we created it again. So now let's check. Remember, whenever Nginx is saving from the web root, whatever that it tries to save from, when it is going to look into this folder, right, to check whether everything is there or not. So right now, let's kill this instance and see. Right. So as you can see right now, what the status code is giving us a 403. That means that it is trying to look for something in the default web root, but there's nothing that is coming out. That's why every time when you go into your maybe is a URL and then it gives you this thing, it shows us that it is trying to look for the build inside in this folder, but it is not seeing anything, right? So now we want then to fix it. Right. So the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to remove this that we created using this sudo remove command. Right. So now we just want to clean up anything that is there. And then the next command that we are going to do, we are just going to move whatever that we had taken from the web root and we put it in the backup folder. We are taking it back. Now we are taking everything that is within the backup back into our normal web root, right? Then after every configuration that you do, you restart your system. So we are going to do an Nginx restart. After that, after everything is done, now we are sure we have done all the steps that we need to do. We need then to go back and check again. We need to tail again into our EC2 instance. As you can see now, the status is 200, which shows us that it is now successful. So we can go back into our EC2 instance and then we refresh our page. Voila, there is our page again. So that means it is now working properly. So then we are told the instructions there to show the evidence of the tail and the tails after removing the removed state proof. We need to be taking those screenshots. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present. That is it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have explained each and everything very well. Excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes, guys, still you have any question, then you can ask. I think she explained very well.
Yeah, amazing explanation throughout that hands-on practice.
Yes, I have a question for
Yes.
Sam Felicia. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Sam Keleso, when you were presenting, we discussed about, you talked about ping, when you ping an external IP address or a domain name, and maybe you sent a certain amount of packets, like the command line you ran, and the dash C, and then 4 packets, specifying the amount of packets, maybe it is 6 that you wanted to send to that address, and then the success check is to see return all the packets having 0 packets lost. Yeah, could you let us know if there is a separate port that takes the pinging communication, or it is still the same ports, SSH and HTTP open? I think it will be some knowledge good for all of us and other students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that question. So you are asking me which port does ping use in summary?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. Oh, so ping is actually it stands for Internet Control Message Protocol. It doesn't use any ports that like SSH or what you call HTTP. What it does is it is a way to check whether there is a connectivity between the two systems, right? For instance, right now, when I first explained the first part when I was talking about a loopback interface, just to test your internet connectivity within your machine, you can use ping, right? You are pinging your system to check whether your system works properly before it can actually communicate with other what you call other machines. So you can run your ping 127.0.0.1 that local that loopback. So it doesn't use any certain port.
Okay, thank you, Dube. Because during when we're having this ops drill, I did something like that to ping my EC2 server from my EC2 server again, pinging myself. Okay, so I observed that the number of 64 packets were sent and 0 packets returned, meaning that 64 packets were lost. So what I had to do at the end of the day was to go to the security group and configure it again to open up, edit the inbound rules, to open up the all ICMP, that is the Internet Control Message Protocol, for all IP before addresses. That was the only way I could ping myself, and then I got back all the packets I sent in. Thank you.
Okay, you are welcome. You are welcome. I don't know if I answered you. Okay.
Yes, you answered excellently.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you
Was
so
an
much for that.
excellent presentation.
You're welcome.
Yes, guys. Isaac Kimeka, do you have any question?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I want to say a big thank you to Sam Kelly for this great presentation. I learned a whole lot. I have a question, not really a question. I'm kind of curious with the security check we did. That's the UFW check that we did. It came up with an inactive, yeah. It shows there is no security to our system. So I want to confirm, sir. You know, there's a security system in the instance level, which is the network security group, and the subnet level, which is the network access control level. So I was expecting us to have such, result after running that security check. So I'm surprised that we didn't get that, sir.
Imeka, you will get a full course on AWS, right? In coming week. After 1 week, you will get all answers of AWS, all these things.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Yeah, is there any other question? Then please ask.
Sir, can we ask the question?
Yes, Bhupenji, please go ahead.
Okay. So, Sam, I just want to know, like, you run a command sudo ss -tulpen. Okay. So can you tell me, like, there was two things like receive -q and send -q. What was that?
Come again? Sorry, can you come again, say?
Yeah, you run a command sudo ss -tulpen. Correct?
Tulpen.
Yeah. So can you tell me what is the command and what was like our request queue and send queue? What was that?
Okay, let me go back to the command say and check it. I think it was for the pods and okay, it was requesting that we confirm which process ID is listening on port 80.
Okay.
Yes. So the output when it came, it was showing us that there was a process ID that is listening on port 80, which was a number. The process ID was a number that I showed at the end of the command. I don't know if I'm answering it correctly.
So this is -tulpen is a single word, or it is different?
I think the -L PTN are the options it displayed on the output. It's not a word.
Okay, see, okay, I don't waste your time. See, this is -tulpen. That means these all are the single characters and all have their own definitions. Okay, and I was
Yes,
asking
yes.
like -T is for TCP protocols. We use 22 port 80
Yes.
443. It is for that. -U is for UDP protocol, which is used for streaming and all. So it is for that
Yes,
only.
yes.
Okay,
And then P for
and
process. And
correct.
then L
And
for listening. L for
L for
listening.
listening. Which one is listening?
Yes. And then
-P
N for numeric.
yeah, -P is for process information,
Process.
E for
Yes,
extended
process.
information, and -N
Yes.
for numeric output. Okay, and there are
Yes.
two things in the output: request queue and send queue. Request queue means how much packets means there is no pending request. Like the port is not busy. The request queue says that, and the send queue means in a single shot how many packets it can send outside. So it shows that
Okay.
amount of data. Okay, and
Okay.
after this you run a command sudo ufw, and it was saying the firewall is not active. So
It's
shall I
not
assume
active.
like, yeah, it was inactive. So shall I assume like your EC2 is not having any firewall right now? Is it that?
No, it does have a firewall, but for now, what I can actually say is that the EC2 instance now it depends on the security group for firewall rather than
Great,
the OS level ones. Yes, yes, yes.
great. This was the
Yes,
output I was expecting. Very good, very good. So security group,
yes,
not the another firewall, but the security group is working as a firewall. Great. Thank you so
yes,
much.
yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
Yeah.
Yes, Cash. Is there any other question?
Sorry, sir, Mr. Popenda, please, can you come again on your explanations? You were kind of breaking on the TULP and the SSH you were explaining before. Can you please come again on that on that?
Yeah, I think it is on chat, but I will tell you. So
Okay, thank you.
hyphen T is for the TCP sockets. Means we are using port 22. We are using port 80. So it is showing that it will give the information about that ports. Which port is listening, which port is working, which is not working. Then hyphen U is for UDP sockets. UDP socket, it is like video streamings and all. So if you will run this command, so all the UDP port, it will show you 000 because it is not using that ports. Then hyphen L is for listening, means which port is listening, which is not listening. And then P is for process ID. It will show you the process ID for the particular ports and all. Then hyphen E will show you the UID, socket number, inode, etc. It will show you. And the hyphen N is for numeric output. You can see in the
You also,
chat, Abhishek sir shared the information.
you also talked about the receive queue and the send queue or something as well.
Yeah, that request queue and send queue is like a request queue means if is any packet or any it is for like request queues means for like is any packet or anything is there, means any data is waiting for uh, is any data is waiting, then it will show in the request queue. So it is showing you 0 means all line is clear, and the send queue means how much data or how much packet you can send in a single shot. That is 4096, and also in a single shot it can send that much of data. That is send queue.
Thank you very much, sir. Grateful.
Okay, all. Thank you so much. I think it's good to go now.
Yeah, it's a damn late.
Oh, no
Yeah,
problem.
the session we have expected like for 2 hours and 1 hour extended. And I guess Greg already like has all the doubts clear now.
He enjoyed fully.
Yeah, I can see that his excitement
And I
throughout the
am very
session
happy.
from.
Actually, I am very happy. He asked many questions, so very
I'm
happy.
very happy for the
No,
answers I
he is
got.
really,
I'm
really
learning.
like an enthusiast person that he really asks
Yes,
a meaningful questions.
yes, great. I think
Questions are coming.
yeah.
Questions are coming means people are understanding, but only one or two are asking them.
Yeah, we expected like 20, 20
Everyone should
people.
participate, right? Everyone should participate.
Yeah, everyone has
Exactly.
to participate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can ask any question.
And Manish has also done a good job by creating a good presentation.
Mm, well done, guys. Well done. Very happy.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So mine is not really a question to say, but there's some sort of appreciation. When I watched each person present, it felt like probably these guys are weeks ahead of us and not like we are still cohort members. So I feel maybe we get to do this weekly. It's gonna make us, do the rough work and brush up our memory. Because man, I learned a lot of things. There are a lot of little I's that I didn't dot and my T's that I didn't cross while I was studying and doing my assignments with my co-members, my fellow cohort members, explaining it to us in our level of understanding. It made more sense. So I think we should do this more often. It's gonna be fun,
Yes, you are
and we're
right.
going to learn. Yes.
Yes,
Thank you, every
yes, we
presenter,
will
and
work on
thank you, our
that.
co-mentors.
We will work on that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, then thank you so much, and see you tomorrow. Okay, please join us tomorrow at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you all. Bye. Good night from
Okay, good
India.
night, good night. Bye bye.
Yeah, good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
night,
sir.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Yes, thank you very much. Group 1, Group
Good
2.
night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Group 1 and Group 2. Nice presentation, guys.